thing. I will bring up Elder Evans. Elder Evans, y'all give him a round of applause as he's coming up.
I got two questions actually. Ask you about the Anunnaki coming to eat or whatever. And
Anunnaki coming to eat?
yeah, it was about the blood. I asked about the blood that Calcael put in the date that made the date multiply or whatever. That was in disagreeableness tablet. I can't remember, but I asked you about the Anunnaki coming to eat. You had said the Nibiru consists of 144,000 different beings, and some of them may be coming to eat. You know what I'm saying? That?
I know where you're coming from.
Okay, what I'm saying, you had said that the Anunnaki had came and left. Which one? I mean, how they gonna come to eat if they had already came?
Remember, you got to go by the term Anunnaki.
Yeah.
The term Anu means
No,
on high or highest point. Na, 50, come to Ki, or Ki spelled with a K or Ki spelled with a Q for this planet Earth. Now there's 50 that come and 50 and they go back. So what happens is you're hearing a lot of things about how Anunnakis will come down and just start eating people. Right? Okay. Now, what sense does that make to you?
It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense now whatsoever.
It don't make sense. So someone took it and got it confused and then blurted it out. Because what happens is when I said there's different types of beings on this ship called Nibiru, 144,000, and all the word Nibiru means is across the sky.
Yeah.
When you listen to Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he called it the mothership. When you listen to your Bible, they're talking about those that are coming from the rapture.
Yeah.
So the Quran speaks of it. Everybody speaks of something that comes out of the sky. Now, what happens is, being that there are different qualities of intellect on this ship, some of them are flesh eaters. So some people took it upon themselves that these guys are going to come down and just start eating people. Yeah. I don't think that should be recognized today because we got other problems going on today.
Exactly.
Because right now, the ozone layer is depleting, and it's to the point where there is no more ozone layer. That's why when you look in the skies, like when we go back to Atlanta, and you go to New York, and you cross over the seas, and you go to places like Europe, and you go past Europe, and you go outside of Africa by way of Portugal, and at the tip of Africa, on the right-hand side, called Morocco, you see these chemtrails a lot. These chemtrails are trying to cover you from radiation. Why? Because with the depletion of your ozone layer, the energy that comes from the universe through these openings are a combination of radiation coming from space and ultraviolet light or ultraviolet energy off the surface of the sun. A combination of both of those are coming through these holes. When they come through these holes, by the time they come through the 7 spheres and they come down to your planet, they're coming down as forms of radiation moisture. When that moisture comes down, it comes down to the seas. 70% of your planet is water. So this radiation is bombarding, issuing in the water, and thus, like the brother said earlier about the crystallization, you're having energies that were not here before, bombarding the surface and the skies of our planet. Thus, when you go to Portugal, and you can look this up tonight, you find out 10,000 octopus washed up on the shore of Portugal last week. You already know about what happened in Arkansas, Louisiana. That's in our country. It's happening in England too. 20,000 crabs just washed up off the shores of their beaches. When you go to Australia, there was the crocodile as well as fish in there. When you go over to Malaysia, it was also fish. Now, a combination of this radiation, along with the experiments they'll tell you about that they do, because why? Americans trying to experiment to keep up with military balancement on the planet. What does that mean? That means that the Arabs introduced what we would call today a disease in the air to kill.
Germ warfare.
Germ warfare. And they've been testing germ warfare. But most of those germs go back into the water. Then don't forget about BT and their natty butts going and trying to combat a spill, putting more poison in the water. And don't think about the nuclear waste. Don't forget about that that's in your water. So we got a combination of all these forces hitting, and let me tell you why it's happening now. Because the grid of your planet is shifting. Do you have your holy tablets? Who has the holy tablets? A black hardcover copy. Besides me. I want you to go to page 1534, Mike. Or you want somebody else to go?
You said what, 1531?
Yeah. Let me show you something.
What's those two ingredients you said is coming through the ozone layer?
A combination of radiant and solar flares, which brings that ultraviolet light coming off the surface of the sun. And the reason why it's so intensified because the sun and the earth are coming closer, closer together. Yeah.
I got a question about that.
Wait. We'll get to that. Let me get this first. Let me roll with this first. You ready?
Which verse?
I got it. You see in verse 142? It'll tell you how a magnetic field is one of the most valuable assets on your planet because it has an endless amount of free energy. The poles of the grids on your tablets, who had that grid tablet?
It's saying the same thing.
Yours is chapter 16, tablet 4, verse 142. It's chapter 16, tablet 4, verse 142. Okay? Just so you keep up. Now this is an endless amount of free energy. The poles of the grids were spaced at a different distance from north geometric pole to south, and a disarrangement set up in a series of geometric harmonious rhythms which were directly related to the speed of light, mass, and gravity. The interactions of the two grids create a harmonic renaissance of which turn form the third resilient grid. The theoretical position for the third grid poles on the southern hemisphere as follows. Grid pole A equals latitude 42.4266 degrees. Longitude is 50 degrees. The second grid pole B was about the same except 78.4266 of the degrees, right?
Yeah.
And it had a longitude of 105 degrees west, right? All these grids, this is what it means. Because if you go ahead and you read some of them grids, read them.
Well, you was at, you
Gotta read that.
okay, grid pole C equals latitude 75.6 degrees longitude,
Yep.
97.5 degrees west,
Mm-hmm.
864 minutes of arc from the north pole.
Yep. Go ahead.
You left it, wait a minute, what did you leave off at?
Don't worry about it. Just
Just
keep
read the
reading.
rest of the grid.
Yeah.
Grid pole B equals latitude 78.4266
Yep.
degrees longitude, 105 degrees west,
Mm-hmm.
694.4 minutes of arc from the north pole resulting.
You're right.
And grid A equals latitude 72.4266 degrees longitude, 50
Mm-hmm.
degrees west,
Right.
1,054 minutes. No,
Yep.
1,054.4 minutes of arc from the north pole.
Yep.
Those are three grids, grid A, B, and C.
And if you keep going, you'll get to
Reciprocal
A, B,
position.
C, D, E, F.
Hold
What
on.
happens is, those are other sections.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Yeah. Now this may look funny, but this is your grids. And these grids all have energy, electromagnetism. Now what happens with the sun, let's say this is the sun. Can you see that light there? Can everybody see that light bouncing off this globe?
Yeah.
All right, that's your sun. This is your planet. This is you spinning. You see the light, right? Now, with this spinning, it's going like this. Was that light at the same place? No, the light is shifting, right? So what was once hot is going to be cold. And once it was cold, it's going to be what? Hot. And the water mass is rising up. With the bombardment of everything coming out this ozone layer, along with the crystallization, as Anthony said, power and energy is running so powerful today, it's killing birds out the sea. Out the sky. It's killing fish. It's killing insects. It's killing all kinds of creatures, till mammals and cows and elephants. Guess who's going to kill next? People. And people are doing it already by virtue of the fact, just the other day, Spartanburg, South Carolina. A little boy, 14 years old, gets a gun for a president. Am I lying? Wakes up one day and does what? Shoot up the whole family. Does that happen in South Carolina?
No.
With black folk?
No.
That energy is destroying the minds of people.
Wow.
That's how it's getting into us.
That's it.
Because it's destroying your mind. And when it destroys your mind, it's like Elijah Muhammad said, you become less than self. When you become less than self, you become a beast. Because that's opposite of what you are as a supreme being, which you are or was, and now you're going to a beast. And with that beast, you become destructive. And you're not a consumption anymore. You don't want to build. You don't want to be a scientist. You want to be everything that's destructive. So we're going, this energy is making you go from a green light to an amber light. And in doing so, it changes who and what we were. Because right now, we form in the same category as beasts. Why? Because we're doing the same thing. We're not doing anything any different. Instead of us focusing, I'll tell you why. Instead of us focusing on what's happening to the planet, and you see the weather patterns changing because of this energy, these are grids. Let me go back here. And with the electromagnetism of the grids, usually it looks like this.
Right.
Longitude and latitude. But when you start getting into the injury focal point, from point A all the way up to F, then the grids get more powerful and they start looking like this. And this is the reason why we're having all this on this planet. Now, with that, here's what happens. The people start changing and your electrical process in your body start changing. You go from the spinning of electron, proton, to protons to electrons. So your heads are getting bigger. Your eyes are getting bigger. We're getting more intelligent, but then once again, we're bringing about a beast-like mentality. So what happens in this day and time is going to eliminate those who are strong from those who are weak. The strong people will have more portions than a beast, because a beast works on the physical, the beast works on the body. But those that are strong works on the mind, soul, spirit, and body. And that's going to be the difference. You're going to have those that are meat eaters around you, and you're going to have the vegans around you. You're going to go to those that play a drum for music, and those that go in the studio and get fake music. That's going to make the difference. You're going to have those that want to become close to nature, and those that want to fake it with computerization and television. They're going to live a life like that. And you can see it happening in your house, in your communities, in your classroom, in your people around it, with your friends. You start to see a difference. Am I lying? We're at that time where there are people that have in their nature to survive, and there are some people who will not. And that's the bottom line. And you better be glad as black people do. Don't get scared. Be glad.
That's right. Be happy.
You must be happy. Because our ancestors prayed for this moment. Prayed for this moment in time. It ain't got nothing to do with 2012. This joint going all the way up to 2030 and 2044. And we have to survive. Now, ask yourself, why you got to survive? You got to survive. If you're an elder, you got to survive because you're going to be there to teach them babies.
That's right.
If you're young, you got to survive to keep that germ alive, to keep that seed going. They trying to make us homosexuals so we stop having our seed.